Hello, kindergartners! Welcome to our last day of making predictions and making inferences with Miss Ronningen. Remember, a prediction and an inference are using what you already know and what you read or see to make a good guess of what will happen. Predictions and inferences, they go hand in hand, which is why they're very similar. First, we have to use what we already know and clues and evidence from the story to make an inference, to figure out what is actually happening. What is the author trying to tell us? Then we can use all this information with our inference to make a prediction or a guess of what we think is going to happen next. All right, we have been practicing these and you have been awesome. We have been making predictions before we read just by looking at the title and the clues on the picture and the front cover. We also make them during reading. We just stop. We look around. We look at all of the clues that we've already seen to make our prediction of what will happen next. And we make them after we read. That third and final step is looking at the prediction we made and making adjustments, because we might have discovered new clues that help change our prediction. You also can make predictions after you read by coming up with more of the story. Maybe you have watched Toy Story 1, and after the first Toy Story ended, you made a prediction of what would happen next if they continued making more Toy Stories. Then, when you watched Toy Story 2, you got to confirm or adjust your prediction, because maybe what you predicted actually happened, but maybe what you predicted did not happen, and that's okay, because a prediction is a guess. Now, when we made our predictions with our story, Who's in the Shed? We used the picture and the title from the front cover, and we flipped it open and used that very first page, as well as the second title page, Who's in the Shed, to help give us some more information and some clues. Because the title said Who's in the Shed, we knew from the title and the picture that somebody would be in the shed. We used all of these clues to help tell us about the characters, and we made our predictions before we even read. Then, while we were reading, we stopped. We looked at different clues, like that truck that said circus on it, the different ways that there was howling and growling and roaring and clawing, as well as a little sneaky picture clues that helped us uncover the animal in the story. So whenever you read, make sure you're stopping and you are trying to make your own predictions based on those clues. That is what good readers do to help us really understand or comprehend what we are reading. Then the last thing we did is we looked at that very last page where it said, and everyone ran away from there. And we looked at those clues from the pictures of their faces to help us make the inference that they were probably pretty scared. And then we make predictions of what we thought was going to happen next. Maybe the animals will keep running to the farmer because they were so scared. Maybe the bear actually called them over and said, I'm sorry for scaring you, and they became friends. So I hope yesterday when you were reading your books, or if you're reading books before bed, you were able to make your own predictions. Try to get in the habit. Try to do that every day now, because that is what good readers do, so we can really understand even more about what we are reading. Now today, friends, we are going to continue to look at even more predictions. We are going to look at these two stories really quick and just try to make some predictions of what we think is going to happen in this book, only by looking at the cover. So this first book we have right here, the cover shows a red background and the title says Enemy Pie. Well, we know what an enemy is, and we know what pie is. An enemy is someone that maybe you don't get along with, maybe someone that you have not been doing things together, maybe someone that you just do not really like at all. It's pretty extreme. And pie, that is something that you can eat. Enemy pie. Now we also see some pictures here. We see a picture of a boy, and we see something big right here. Now I can make a connection based on what I've already know, that when you make pie, sometimes you can put little crisscross like this, kind of weaving it in on the top. And that is kind of the crust or the top of the pie. So I can make an inference that this is probably pie. Now there's a little sign right here. It says, for my best enemy. His hands are open wide, so I can make another inference that this boy is probably giving this pie to his best enemy. But if you take a look at this pie, you see that there's lots of flowers, plants, dirt, grass, worms. Ooh, would that be a delicious pie? No, not really. Pie would be pretty yucky. He has a smile on his face, but do you think it's a good way that he's giving this pie for his enemy? Sometimes if your heart is hurt, you don't always want to give a gift to someone else who hurt your heart. So I bet if we were to open this book and read it, we would uncover some even more clues and details that would help us really figure out what this book would be about. But just by looking at the title and all of those clues that we found, it sure makes me want to read this book. It makes me really interested in it, and probably a book that I would like to read. Now, if you take a look at this book over here, the one with a pretty blue background, it looks like it's the sky. And we see an animal right here. It's a duck. And we also see a bicycle. Now, this duck kind of has a big smile on his face. His arm is up wide like he's having fun, and his feet are on the pedals. So he must be riding this bike. Now, the title says Duck on a Bike. And what do we see? It matches. The duck is on the bike. Whoa, if we were going to read this book, I bet we could make a lot of predictions of where this duck would go on this bike. Would the duck ride to the grocery store to get some food on his bike? Would the duck even be able to ride the bike, or would the duck just fall over? Maybe this book is just about the duck trying and trying and trying again. Maybe the duck is never able to ride the bike, or maybe the duck is able to ride the bike right away. So these are all different predictions or guesses we can make about what these books are going to be about only by looking at the cover. So when you are choosing your books for read to self every day, or maybe if you're reading a nice good book before bed, I want you to really take a peek at the front cover to make those inferences of what is going on and make predictions about what the book is going to be about. A lot of times, just by looking at the front cover or by doing picture walks, you can get a good understanding and really get a good idea of what the story is going to be about to help you figure out, am I going to like this book, or are you not going to like reading that book? Because it's important to read books, but what's really important is to read good books that we like. And we can figure out if we like it by making those predictions based on the front cover. Now, friends, we are really going to be putting our prediction ability skills to the test. I'm going to show you a bunch of little clips from different movies that you might know or you might not know, and we're going to stop and pause and make some predictions. All right, get those thinking caps on. We'll have those watching eyes, and here we go. And pause. All right here, let's use these clues to make a prediction. Well, first, let's figure out what's happening. Right now, we can make an inference by using the clues that we see that these three people are on a boat. We see water around them. We see a big moon and stars in the sky. So we can make an inference that they might be going fishing at night. Or at least we know that they're in a boat at night. Now, the dad, we can make an inference that he's a dad because he's a lot bigger and it looks like his son is with them. We don't really know for sure, but these are inferences we can make. He is handing this anchor to the boy. Now, maybe the boy, I'm going to make the prediction that the boy will throw it into the water. Thumbs up if you agree with my prediction. Thumbs down if you might have a different prediction. Everyone can have their own predictions here. Show me through thumbs, and then let's keep watching.
Ah.
Okay, we just saw a lot of new clues there. Now, was my first prediction correct? No, I thought he was going to throw the anchor into the water, but then we saw the clue that the dad brought out the ladder and he started to climb up it. Did you see how he really secured that anchor to his back so that it wouldn't fall? And now he's starting to climb up. All right, what do you predict is going to happen next? Think in your brain. Try to look at those clues. Remember, this is just a guess, so we don't really know. We can use those clues, though, to help us make a good guess. Whenever we make predictions, we always say, I predict that, and also use the sneaky word because we always want to give a reason why we think so. So I want you to take a moment, pause the video if you need more think time, and come up with a good prediction. All right, I want you to get ready to whisper to me your predictions on the count of 3. Ready? I'll help you sort it out. 1, 2, 3. I predict that. Because. What's your reason why? Very nice job. I'll tell you my prediction. I predict that the boy will use the ladder to climb up to an even bigger boat. All right, let's figure out what is actually going to happen. Ooh, did you predict that the boy was going to float up to the stars? I know I sure didn't, but that is the joy and the fun of reading books and watching short stories because you never know what is going to happen. Sometimes you might be able to predict what's going to be in the book just by looking at the cover, but really, once you start reading it, you might discover something new. Awesome job. I hope you like this little short story. Let's do another one.
This is great!
Immerse yourself in a whole new world when you go deep sea diving.
Oh, I've got the perfect outfit.
Pause! All right, take a look at this picture. Let's make a prediction about what is going to happen next. Well, first we want to gather up all of the clues we found to make an inference of what is happening. So far I see Ken. He's plugging his nose. He has fins on his feet. He has something on his body. Ooh, he has goggles on his eyes. So I can make a connection that I've worn those things before on my body when I've gotten wet in the water. So when I went to an ocean, I wore those things so I could see underwater. Now Barbie also looks like she is wearing fins on her feet and wearing a swimsuit. If you take a look back, when Buzz Lightyear was looking at the magazine, we saw people who were deep sea diving. So we can make the inference that Ken and Barbie are getting ready to go deep sea diving. So let's make a prediction, which is a guess you make using those clues. So I predict that Ken and Barbie are going to go diving. Or we could say, I predict that Ken and Barbie are going to go swimming. All right, let's find out.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
Watch this. Shark Week.
Yay.
Pause. Ooh, nice job helping me make that prediction. We were right. They did go diving or swimming, but was it real water? No, now that we know the actual answer of what happened, we can look back at our clues. We know that Barbie and Ken, they're Barbie dolls or dolls. So do dolls normally go wet in the water? No, not really. They normally do pretend things. So now that we actually know what happened, we could change our original prediction to include that actually they wouldn't be going in a real swimming pool or a real ocean, but really it would probably be pretend. Great job making that prediction. Let's do one more together.
Your mission is to watch this rock.
Watch the rock. Watch the rock. Why?
It is the bird's favorite rock.
Yeah. Sure is.
So just watch over it and let us know if it moves.
I will watch the rock. I will keep my eyes on you, Rock. Do not try any tricks, for I am a great watchdog. Aha! I see you, Rock.
Pause. All right, here is Doug from the movie Up, and he is in charge of watching this rock. Now, I already know that whenever I see rocks on the ground, they don't really move on their own. So we could make a prediction that this rock is probably just going to stay here the whole entire time. And maybe it might take Doug days and nights while he is waiting and watching this rock. But if you saw that sneaky little clue of the pebble, the little rock, rolling down the hill, we could change our prediction, use that clue to make a prediction that that little pebble is going to touch the big rock and the big rock will fall down the hill. All right, let's keep watching to figure out what is going to happen.
Ah! I see you, Rock. Alpha! The rock moved.
Aw, how silly! Doug, you sure did watch that rock. So our second prediction that we predicted that the rock is going to fall or move because, don't forget that because word, we saw the little pebble rolling. That because part is the clue that helped us make our prediction. So that part was right. The rock did move and fall because of that little rock, but it even gave us even more clues and things that actually happened after is that it fell onto the dogs. Oh, I did not predict that part. Really wonderful job making predictions today, friends. I have loved watching these videos and making predictions with you too, and I hope you have had fun as well. Now today, I really want you to keep on making predictions. Challenge your brain that anytime you open a book or watch a movie or look outside, you make a prediction first. I hope you had a lot of fun with me this week. I love you so much. See you later, alligators.